Tuesday morning. Awesome. Love it. Good to see everybody. I love it. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday and it's been starting off just right. So good to see everyone. So we're going to let everybody in, give it a couple minutes here. And as usual, I would love to start off with tell me what you're up to. Tell me if you have some great, I'm going to let everybody on here. Drone stories. Hi, Linda. Louise. Awesome. Oh, it's good to see you too. And Parker, I haven't seen you for so long. Great to see you. I love it. Anybody have any really good drone stories that they want to start the show with today? We'd love to hear from you. Out flying? Nothing yet, so I know you can do this one though. I would like it to be very interactive today, but let's just kick this off by putting your information into the chat. We're all about networking, and this is a fantastic way to start networking. So I know when you're on other social media platforms besides, because this one goes out on Zoom, but if you're on some of the other social media platforms, you're not able to see some of the screens that we are, but we do encourage you to connect because we do have someone that is monitoring the YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, all that. So please feel free to put information in there. All right, we already got some going into our chat right here on the Zoom session. I love it. And so I don't have any great announcements to make today. So I really just want to jump over and get started with our spotlight speaker for today. I'm super excited to have Ian Kiely here today because he is going to be sharing about Ireland and doing a drone trek there in Ireland. What a phenomenal place. And you know, one of the really exciting things is I have had the pleasure of being on a tour with Ian, and oh my gosh, he's so knowledgeable. He has so much passion for Ireland and he shares it with you. So I'm going to kick this over to you, Ian, right away and open up and make you spotlight for everyone, allow you to share. Thank you for joining us. I know it's morning or midday for us here in the United States, but a little different for you.
It is 5 o'clock in the evening. I've just fed my young daughter, so hopefully she won't come in pestering me looking for stuff. Not that I mind. Yeah, we had a great time when Desi, yourself, and I see Louise Jupe is on here, or Jup, and Sharon Rossmark, and you've all been in the mountains with me at some stage, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I frightened Sharon on our back roads. I live in a very, very old town that's 4,000 years old, and our roads aren't very wide. And I thought Sharon was going to have a heart attack when we were flying around corners and over speed bumps. So
Yes, yes. And it's just so beautiful there.
it
So,
is. And we've even got some sunshine this week. So
oh,
what I've done is, so
absolutely.
no, if everybody doesn't know, Sharon Rossmark, actually, I'm going to start. I have a little deck here, and we'll explain how we got here, if that's okay. And
I love
I
it.
want lots of questions, guys, okay? And then at the end, you need to all send Sharon some money and pay me to take you on a trek.
Thank
Because
you.
that's the plan. So just move on here. Oh, I'm just trying to
That
figure out how to
looks
use my.
fabulous.
Yeah, can you see that deck?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's just perfect.
I can't. Oh, no, there we go. Oh, so who is this guy, Ian? Well, I've been working in drones for more than 10 years. I've developed navigation systems for the European Space Agency. I trained our armed response unit, so our police, as a general rule, don't carry guns. I've worked with the fire brigade, and then I've all done all sorts of other drone work to pay the bills and try and stay afloat as it was 7 or 8 years ago when we were all scratching in the dirt. So I'm Ian Kiely and I'm a drone specialist, and some of the girls here already know me. And how did we get here today? Well, myself and a bunch of lovely people got together years ago, led by Louise Jupp, And we wrote a book together, and we've since then written several books together. Desi and the girls from Women in Drones, when they heard there was a conference in Ireland about 18 months ago, they all packed up and flew to Ireland. So I was very impressed. There's a picture of us all together there. In Ireland, in total, in the whole drone industry, there's like two women. So all of these women pouring in here really changed the balance for a few days. So this is Desi up here and Sharon down the end here, in case you don't know her. So the night after this photo was taken, I was having dinner with Sharon, and she said, "Oh, would you be interested in like doing drone trekking?" And I just like I'm into trekking. Nature trekking and drones are my three favorite things, other than my child. And well, not necessarily in that order either. So um, I didn't realize how serious Sharon was at the time about it, and I kind of went, yeah, 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 yeah. But then a few months ago, about 6 or 8 months ago, Sharon started like pestering me, going, "Come on, Ian, we'll get a website going. We'll do this, we'll do that." And in fairness to her, she's put in a huge amount of work. And Desi has been putting in a huge amount of work. Desi has her own drone track organized as well. We'll talk a bit about that at the end. So, um, so we started seriously looking at how can we share the drone industry with people. You don't have to be a professional, you can be a beginner and come to Ireland, have a great holiday and actually have somebody guide you. And I love history, I love flying drones and I love nature and they're all on my doorstep. So I live less than a mile from the sea and about a mile and a half from the mountains. So it's absolutely spectacular living here. And we've got some amazing historical sites because Dublin is so old. So, what is the plan? Well, these are a couple of shots of me actually out hiking, and me and my doggies. My doggies love the hiking, and these are all views from the mountains to the sea, but you don't actually leave Dublin. And people think Dublin is like this city that you go to visit to see Trinity College, but in actual fact, it's a beautiful, beautiful place, and you can be in the countryside in 5 minutes. So we decided that instead of going to the south of Ireland to Kerry, we would do the South Dublin trek. And when we're bringing you on the trek as part of the whole process, we want you to tell us what you're interested in before you come, and we'll build the trek around your interests. So if you particularly like seafood, we'll go sit in the highest pub in Ireland. It's a couple of 100 years old, and we can eat seafood nowhere near the sea. And we can go down to a village that's 4,000 years old, and we can eat lobster. But if you want to see castles, round towers, all that kind of stuff. That's all right here on our doorstep. Like the village that I live in, the main street's called Castle Street because it's got five castles on it. So, and like I actually know people who live in castles. So it's not that weird here. I'd say it is in the US. So I'm going to base the plan of the day around a course that I already teach. And it's called Drones Understanding the Basics. I've spoken about it on this pod or show before. And basically, we'll take people early in the morning, we'll pick them up from their hotel, and we'll register them uh, in Europe. So they'll actually get a European hobby license, A1, A3, and that will allow us put a drone in your hand. So if you don't have a drone, we'll give you a drone when you get here, or we'll carry one up the mountain for you, a small one, and we'll cover you with our insurance. And we'll either go to the mountains or the sea, maybe one day, and we want you to have fun and we want you to ask loads of questions. But every time we go flying or take the drone out, we'll be at a historical site or near a historical site, beautiful forests, seals, all the type of nature you can think of on this side of the planet. So just on the screen here, there's a few shots. This is in Galway, but this Era 7 sign, that's actually in my neighborhood. And during World War II, German bombers kept dropping bombs on Ireland thinking it was the UK. And of course, we didn't want to be part of the UK, so we put signs all around our country. They're made of rocks and lime, and they were maintained by the local community. And each one had a different number, and a different number corresponded to a different flight plan. So it also served a purpose that when US planes were coming to Europe's rescue, that on the other side of the country, they were able to determine when they'd actually gotten across the Atlantic. So it was really interesting because we had blackouts. So planes would fly over and they wouldn't see anything except that shining up out of the ground. So that was lost for like 80 years. And during COVID, one of the neighbors rediscovered it. He saw an old painting and he went and found it and they restored it. So lots of history. This island here is actually right across from that number seven, and that island had people living on it for 4,000 years, and now it's for protected bird species, and goats live on it to keep the grass down. But there's a little boat that you can take out to it every day. Like it's really fantastically beautiful. So once you get your license in the morning, we will discuss what you want and the best route to do it. I'm trying to design the trek that we spend no more than 20 minutes in the car each time. We'll go for a small walk before lunch, and then lunch will go somewhere very nice, either with beautiful views or fancy foods. We'll then go for a trek, a fly, and a trek in the afternoon, and then we'll leave you somewhere near your hotel for dinner, and we might even join you for dinner or a beer. And then day two will take kind of a similar format. But in the morning, we'll pick you up from your hotel and we'll do a trek, fly, trek. Then we'll have a nice lunch and then we'll do another trek, another fly, another trek. So you need to bring your walking shoes, a little backpack. We'll bring you some water and snacks, but like we're talking proper trekking. Now, we won't be climbing mountains, but we'll be going to nice places. And we'll kind of be near touristy places, but we're more focused on places tourists don't find. Places that I like to go trekking. And if my dogs are very, very old, if they're feeling a little bit better that day, they might come with us. Um, so these are Sharon has had me taking pictures and videos of myself hiking recently, hence I've got so many for promoting what we're doing. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but I was out on a hike the other day. So my old hiking buddy is a little bit annoyed with me for mocking him for getting old, but he is because our hikes are getting shorter and shorter. But that morning we actually bumped into about 50 different hikers while trekking, all within like a 5 mile radius of where I live. And this is me on the island here, but in the background you can actually see the other side of Dublin, which is another island that was connected to the mainland, so it hasn't been an island in about 100 years. But this church was a real church hundreds of years ago. And then everything to move on. And then the wildlife is spectacular. In the bottom right hand side there, my little daughter was on a hike one day and she said, "Here, Daddy, smell this flower." And when I went to smell it, she stuffed it in my face, and I managed to capture it on the camera. So she was very excited that she was going to be in my presentation today. So these are seals on the little island where we were hiking, and then as Ireland is, this is what happened.
The sound is choppy. We don't hear the sound.
I don't know why it's not connecting. So I'm saying that typical Ireland, 5 minutes ago, the sun was shining and now we're hiding from the rain. And 5 minutes later, we were stripped off down to t-shirts because the sun was. So if you come to Ireland, I can't promise that the 2 days won't have rain, but I can promise that we will get you up in the air with a drone and that you do need to bring wet gear. But we will mind you, we'll have spare stuff, but you do need to bring wet gear. So then things that I have a really large knowledge base in all areas of the drone industry because I've been a consultant and an advisor for so many years. So, um, if you have a real interest in drones and want to go on one of these treks, we can build the whole trek around learning about UTM systems, passenger drone craft, and mapping. Like this picture here, I'm actually standing on the roof of the Guinness factory. This here's another day, very early days of drones when we were still allowed to fly through the city. There was a giant screen not being used, and I just plugged my drone into it and flew my drone across the city, and all the kids at the event could actually see the whole of Dublin City from above. And I've done TEDx talks, I've done all sorts of interesting things, and I'm quite happy as part of our hiking and stuff to educate people or, hypothesize where the industry is going, how to make money from drones, how to live as a drone operator, or whatever the case may be. Um, some of the stuff that I've actually done myself. So this is the harbor. I'm suggesting people stay in the hotel across from the harbor. The harbor is 210 years old. I actually maintain the harbor in that I scan it twice a year. And this is me supporting the crew. They're actually rebuilding the or the rock defense system when a big storm came in and nearly wiped it out. And then this is me. Our prime minister was on that boat, and it was about 2 years ago. Our naval fleet was 100 years old, so we were providing the aerial coverage for that, and they were firing the guns, and it was all very exciting. So on my lunch break recently, I actually made this. Is that playing for you? Yeah.
Yes, it is. And then we also have a question that did come in from
Oh
YouTube.
yeah. So we'll get to that next. This is a 3D model of the end of Dunleary Pier. They're actually refurbishing it at the moment, and there's actually a little shop in there and everything. So I made this with a drone. I didn't use any software to capture it. I captured it by eye and processed it in Pix 4D, and it came out beautiful actually. And those guns have actually been there for more than 200 years, and they still fire. So the military come out every couple of weeks and clean them to make them work. What's the question, Desi?
So this is from Old Parts with Drones. Fun website, by the way. Um, Ask if you know Alan from Drone Reviews Media. I guess he's one of the best cinematic drone flyers in Dublin. Do you know a gentleman named Alan? And the company is Drone Views Media.
No, I will look it up. I might do. I'm terrible with names, and like there's loads of Allens here. Like it's a pretty popular name. Not that I'm mocking it, but I will go drone views. What was the last word?
Media.
Media. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you have like guys that do mapping companies, and they do the media as a separate thing. So like I may well know them. Like Dublin's such a beautiful place, and about half of Dublin is Class G airspace, so you can still fly a drone in most places. Am I good to push on? I'll look up Alan though when
Yes.
we're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm nearly at the end of the deck here. So the upcoming dates are on the screen. I'm open to all sorts of suggestions. Sharon suggested I actually pick a few dates. I'd also be open to taking bookings for 2026. You are the first people hearing about this. I'm the guinea pig, and now you're my guinea pigs. And or Desi's going to talk about hers in a minute. Maybe we can embarrass Sharon to say a few words as well. Um, so if people want to contact me, here's my contact details on the screen. If you want to visit the National Space Center, we can get in a car and drive for 3 hours to it. The ninth largest satellite dish in the world, hiding in South Cork, south of Ireland. So that's kind of all I have, and I'm quite happy to answer questions. You have your
So can
Desi?
you could could you put the slide deck back up? What I'd like to do, just in case on the other platforms of social media, sometimes they don't get to see the whole screen that we do here on Zoom. So I
Right.
would love for this to be interactive, even through, the YouTube and other channels as well. We want to hear from you. And so we'll put these back up and
Like
I
our big
will kind of share some of the dates that he suggested, but what do you think? We'd love to hear from you. Put your comments into our chat. Um,
Yeah, or put your hand up. Like we want feedback. What do people
yes,
want to see?
open
What do
up the
people like?
mic.
What don't they like?
Yeah, open up the mic. Let's hear from you. And so uh, he's still trying to put his slide deck
Sorry.
back up.
I've moved all my screens around and now I'm making a mess of things. Hang on a second.
Awesome. We've got some comments that this sounds fantastic. Great presentation. And so I know Ian had a couple of dates already up there. Um, First of all, I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Have you been to Ireland? Is it something that's on your bucket list that you've wanted to go? And having an opportunity to do, yes, we've got yes going on into our chat already. And so having an opportunity like this to share, there's our dates, uh, where you have someone that is guiding you through the area that has so much knowledge and history of the area, just makes it more powerful. And so we see the definitely on the bucket list. I love it. So I'm going to rattle off the dates, even though we can see the entire side on the side, the
Yeah,
slide
I
deck.
can't fix my screen. You just have to do it do it that screen.
No worries, no worries. So really quick before we kind of dive into some of these dates, seeing the first one on here would be the June 11, 12, and then we've got a June 25, 26, and then we've got a couple in July 1 and 2, July 19, 20, 19th and 20th. So Ian, what is the best weather I know, rain every day kind of a thing, but
So
is there
we've already
conditions?
had more sun this summer than we had the whole of the entire summer last year. You just don't know. Like Ireland is just such a mixed bag. We're such a small country on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. But like I'll go out in any weather. Like my ex-wife used to threaten her nieces and nephews that I would take them out hiking when it was raining to get them to do stuff. So I would go out in all weathers because this is, partially about learning, partially about flying the drone, partially about, embracing Ireland and getting, real historical value out of your journey. Um, and I know, people travel through Ireland, they go, oh, I did the whole of Ireland in 3 days. I'm like, really? You do that? So we're going to help that process. I'm a little inflexible in July, but August I can be really flexible. So July, my daughter's coming for the whole month to live here, and that just wouldn't work. Like she'd be here every day. But August, I'm pretty flexible. So like if somebody reaches out and they want to do one day, we can come to some kind of arrangement, I presume. Sharon, do you want to join in there? Can you hear? She is still.
Also, so I'm going to put a couple more links in there. Couple of comments while Sharon might be logging in.
Here.
Well, you
There
are.
she.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
here.
Let me
Yes,
go
I was
find her.
monitoring
So
few things behind the scenes.
you're like, what? You just put me in spotlight? So, couple things. Sharon, if you want to maybe talk a little bit about vertical space, I did just post the link to vertical space treks, which I love because it just opens up the whole world. And so, if you want to maybe make a comment or two about that.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So first of all, we do have some people on YouTube that are saying that they are definitely interested. They want to know the pricing. They want to know the good time about the weather. And Ian, you just spoke to that. And people are saying, yes, love Ireland. So, and then also 2026 was another comment I saw on one of the other platforms.
Yes.
So just to kind of give everyone some context, and Ian, you did an excellent job of the background, and you're right. A bunch of women from the Women in Drones Network showed up in Ireland for the drone conference. You reached out to Louise, and Louise contacted me, and the ball was rolling, and we all showed up in full force and took Ireland by storm. And actually, Ian took us by storm because, as Desi has said, he is so knowledgeable about Irish history and all of the sites and things to do. And then when you pull that together with all of our love for droning, it just became a great adventure over just a couple of days. And so I think as he was speeding around one of these corners, since they drive on the left-hand side of the street, my heart was in my hands. I was like, okay, Ian, you are a great tour guide. And that was not why we were there. I mean, we were there for the drone conference, but just the interaction made it a fabulous time. It did. It struck me that since we have such a vibrant community, many times we are willing and anxious to go someplace, but it's always nice when you have someone that you can trust and someone that can kind of guide you through where to go, what to see, and you're just not the typical tourist. And that's what Ian offers. He offers that insight into Irish history. His love for his country is so apparent when you're with him, and you can probably hear it in the passion in his voice. But, I know that as the community evolves, one of the things that we want to do is we want to take our drones, or if you show up in Ireland, Ian has said he can provide a drone so you don't have to travel with it. And a lot of countries are like that. It's best just to have our tour host offer that. I thought it'd be a great idea to have others share and experience what Desi and I and the others experienced when we were there with Ian. So that was the impetus for this idea and concept of launching vertical space treks, where we could go to different places around the world and we know individuals because we know them through the network and have them take us out for a day or two and have different experiences. And we actually started off with a different name, but we changed it because we wanted it to be broader because there's so many different experiences that we can have together, and it doesn't always have to be with a drone. But if you happen to have a drone and you're in a location where you can fly, that just makes the adventure that much more fun. So that's just my way of saying, let's just continue to evolve the network and evolve our love for this community together. And thank you, Ian, for raising your hand and saying, let's kick this off in Ireland. Well, that's what we ended up doing the first time. We just kind of all showed up in Ireland and it just went from there.
Well, it all kind of happened by accident though, because we were like, I was looking at your diaries, and there was so many different people, and it was actually Desi's husband rented a bigger car, and I said, I'll drive, everybody jump in. And like I was moderating that conference, so I was already pretty busy, but we still managed to get up to the mountain. And when we got there, if you remember, we bumped into a walker that I knew that I'd grown up with, and then we bumped into my daughter's auntie. Like
Right,
totally random in the middle of nowhere, no houses, and just people wandering through the mountains. Like it's really very community based.
right, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talked about price. So I'm trying to do it fairly, but I also like so within the price, which I'm going to tell you now, we're going to add snacks and drinks, but we're also going to provide the transport, so you don't have to worry. So once you get yourself to Ireland and your hotel, we will deal with all the transport and everywhere to go after that. And we'll also cover your lunch. So we'll take you somewhere really nice for lunch, something historical maybe. But so I would like to not take more than six people at a time so that each person can have one-on-one time. But I would really look to be having a minimum of three to make it pay. Because, like, it's still a business idea. So we settled on 800 euros per person for the 2 days and not per day. So each individual pays 800 euros, and we'll pick up all of your trekking costs out of that. And that would then be equivalent to me making a day's salary flying. So I've kind of tried to keep it in and around that. And I think that's pretty reasonable actually when you look at what you're getting for that. What are people that are dialed in? What are your thoughts on that? Is that very expensive or is it too cheap? What
So
about you, Cara?
we would love to hear from you. You can open up your mic, you can talk. Social media, feel free. We are monitoring all the chat on social media. We'd love to hear from you. What do you think? How does that work? It sounds very inexpensive for the touring that I know that he offers and the knowledge that he shares. That just sounded like a phenomenal deal. And so sounds great. We got a couple of sounds great in there. I love it. I did put a link in. I need a sponsor. There you go, Johnny.
I'll tell you what, Johnny, you find four people and you can come as the fifth.
Oh, there you go. Oh, can you
I'll
repeat
even
the
let you
date
sit in the
again?
front seat of the car with me.
There you go. So, I think Carolyn wants to open up her mic, or she just says she's in.
Yeah.
And yes.
Hi,
Oh,
Ian. Great to hear from you. Could you do us a favor? Can you please convert the euros to dollars?
Oh, euros to dollars, it's about $1,000. So
perfect.
the
Thank
One more
euro is
time?
it's probably more it's about $900.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Sorry, I should have thought in dollars. Yes, you're right. Thank you, and I'll change that I'll make sure that I think of that in future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
So I
I
think
just
like
did, hey Ian, I just did a quick check on Google. It is $910.50 based on the current euro to USD.
perfect. So
But
if
that's
you're
actually good
struggling
for two
now,
days. That's two
just
days.
wait for the dollar to go up, pay, and then wait for the dollar to come down again, and then you'll feel like you got a saving.
Yeah. But again, you think about it, that one-on-one conversation with someone so knowledgeable, not just of the trip that you're going on, but just the whole history of Ireland and what he offers in the knowledge in the drone industry, just everything that you're offering. You
But
just
like my
jump
my
in.
my grandmother's uncle was one of the founding members of our first government. Like, because that's my grandmother was still alive when I was a child, and she remembered the day that the state began. And we were looking at our history books as children. She goes, "I was there that day," and I went, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I was on my dad's shoulders when our elected presidents came out of hiding, and they came to Ireland and formed a state, and he'd been hiding in America." And like that was within my grandmother was born into indentured servitude because we'd been ruled for 800 years and they'd starved millions of people to death. And like that's like people were there were people still alive halfway through my life that had lived through that. So the history is still very fresh.
History. Yes, yes. And so we do have a question that came into our chat. Thank you, Linda. Uh, if someone was going to be not wanting to take their drones over and utilize your offer to supply a drone, what drones are actually being supplied?
Mavic 2 Pros with the Hasselblad camera.
Fun, good
So they
camera.
won't be blood, like you'll still be able
Yeah.
to fly in fairly decent wind. They're heavy enough, they're robust, they got a good camera. I've two spare ones, and not everybody's gonna be flying at the same time because obviously you don't have accidents. But like we'll be on mountaintops and you'll be able to see for miles around. There'll be plenty to photograph.
Oh, exciting. Very, very exciting. Okay, so out of the whole trek, when you were planning it, Ian, what was one of the places that excited you most that, hey, I could bring people to this location?
So there's an island that was in the picture beside my house. And I was like, oh, that'd be really good. And in the last like 2 weeks, the council have put up a sign saying no drones, birds, endangered species mating kind of thing. So we can fly from the mainland. It's like a quarter of a mile out. So we can actually still fly over and have a look. We just can't bring drones onto the island, which is fine. But like it's just so beautiful and idyllic. And like there's a port that holds five little fishing boats, but like little rowing boats. And that used to be the main port for Dublin. And now it's an international city of 2 million people. So like it's just so idyllic and beautiful. And I love all the places I go hiking. And I go hiking like 3, 4 times a week.
Awesome.
I'm trying to get you guys excited.
Yes, so we do
Um,
have a question in our chat about what type of insurance would people need besides the standard uh, travel?
oh,
And
I'm covering all your drone insurance. So if you get your travel insurance and once you arrive, you're on your travel insurance while walking, but when you have a drone in the air, you're under my insurance. And my insurance covers to accidents up to 13 million. So if you're causing an accident that's greater than 13 million, there'll be murder.
oh,
So I
there
think I think
you
we'll
go.
be
That was
fine.
a, that was a great, great question. Love
It
to
is a
hear
good
any
question.
other questions. Oh yeah, Linda, she asked another great question here. Same price if you were going to be bringing a spouse, and what if they don't fly?
Well, we hadn't actually considered that's a very good question, Linda. Like I don't mind somebody tagging along, but you're getting the package. Now, if sorry, a couple of things. Let's go back. If your spouse would like to learn, like we built into this, like somebody can be flying one way and I can be teaching somebody the other way. Like I don't mind teaching, and we will be getting you registered. But if they've no interest in flying at all, reach out to me and we can come to some kind of arrangement. Like they'll still be getting driven around, they'll still be getting a history tour, their meals will be covered. But I have no problem coming to some kind of arrangement. Absolutely. I mean, that's how I know Desi's husband. She dragged him along.
I do. Yes, I do. And no, he has never flown.
Yeah, but like I kidnapped him from you and took him off on his own adventure one of the days.
Ah, did you have him fly or did you just?
No, but do you remember when you girls were all in the hotel and I said, "Come on, I'm going to go do a job. You'll like doing this." So like, I'm all about fun for everybody. Like I'm a lot of fun, I
Yeah,
think.
yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
awesome.
So just to go back to the weather there a bit, right?
Okay.
During the summer, Ireland is actually usually pretty nice. Like it's beautiful out there today. You don't usually during the summer we don't usually get two bad days together. So even if one bad day and we can like still go visit historical sites and there's indoor stuff we can do, but you'll definitely get one day up in the air, you know. So
Awesome. Awesome. And there is so, like you said, so much to do. Yeah,
for
so
sure.
um
Like
I
in the where I live is on the side of a quarry, and there are literally if I go outside and look up, I can see castles dotted all over the hillsides. Because for 4,000 years, people have been building fortifications and fighting over the land.
awesome.
So if you
Awesome.
bring enough money, you can buy your own castle
Oh, I like it. Hey, I think we should like do a GoFundMe and maybe all group
and
together.
buy
Right
me a castle, and you can all come stay.
there. Okay. Look at us. See, great minds. We get together and things just explode like this. I like it.
Is Louise still on here? I saw Louise's face appear earlier.
Let's take a quick look.
Yes, I'm here. Yep,
Ah,
I'm here. How's it,
Unhide your
dear?
face, young one.
Okay, hang on. I've got my big glasses on. There we go.
you see.
Hello.
How you doing?
Back. Are you
Oh,
on?
well, thank
There you
you. How are
are.
you?
I'm going to make you spotlight. We're going to put you under the spotlight,
Oh, my
even if
word.
you know. But yes.
There
So,
she is.
yeah,
How's it?
Louise.
Geez,
So,
you look great, Louise.
Oh,
You look
thank you.
great.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Yes, not doing too badly, not too shabby, as we say.
I love it. I love it. So,
And you too.
Louise had
Yep.
previously been sick, and now she seems to have bounced back in full force.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
yes.
No.
tell us about your
How's
experience in
yours?
Ireland, Louise.
Oh, I loved it. It was such a cool experience to meet you after all the conversations through Drone Professional, and just to be part of that conference as well. And it was just an awesome experience with Women in Drones. I finally got to meet Sharon, Desi, um, and Laquata and others, and it was just such a cool vibe. It really was. It was one of the best experiences I've had in that regard. And it was a very interesting. And the other thing was going to Manor and seeing the drone delivery. That was
Yeah.
really, really interesting to actually see that. So no, that the whole experience was brilliant, and I couldn't recommend to your audience more for them to take you up on this and come and see you and come and see Ireland and be part of the
Maybe somebody will
Irish
sponsor
drone
you.
community. Oh, I
Maybe.
wish. I wish. I would happily come back. I'd come back with a few more jumpers, but I
Yes.
would come back.
A little
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
There's one thing you were talking about there earlier, Desi, was like the whole and Sharon as well, the whole networking. Like this in March, so a couple of weeks ago, Sharon arranged for me to go to a conference in Germany. I was going to be there anyway. Sharon arranged a ticket for me, and I had lots of beers, and I had dinner with friends, and I was a little bit rough in the morning. And Sharon's like, "Oh, Laquata's passport. They wouldn't let her out of the US to go to Europe because of some problem with her passport." So I ended up getting up on stage and speaking on Laquata's behalf. So I was like, I started out with like, I'm gonna identify as a 5'2" black woman today, because that's who's supposed to be speaking. And even the German people thought it was amusing, which I was really surprised by. But the networking really helps.
Um,
Yes.
I do have another comment that came in on our chat, and Linda was wondering how far away is Scotland because her son wants to get her there. And then Carolyn mentioned a drone castle fund. I like it.
Like it. So I'll explain two different ways how clear near Scotland is. So a friend of mine is into extreme sports, and he canoed from Belfast to Scotland, had his lunch and canoed back. So it's only like 45 miles between the north of Ireland and Scotland. So they're very near each other. On an airplane, it's about 40 minutes. And if you book well in advance, you can probably get a ticket for about 20 bucks.
Wow.
Now you are going to a different country, so you will need to. So I can travel between any of the UK countries from Ireland because we have an agreement. But if you're traveling to the UK, they're no longer part of the EU, so you will need to apply to the UK for a visa, I would imagine, from a lot of countries, and pretty much the US. But like you can actually you can go to Northern Ireland, visit the Giant's Causeway, and get the boat to Scotland, and it takes like an hour. So it's not far. It's
Perfect. Perfect. So, Linda is also the one that had mentioned in our chat about possibly doing maybe a trek in 2026. So if somebody
mhm.
was going to be planning for this, we went in February. The weather was rain, cold, as Louise just said, very
It
cold.
snowed.
Snow,
So,
yes, we had snow.
But it was very nice from Chicago's perspective.
I'm sorry, sunny California found it very cold. I brought a heated vest. But if you were considering a trek for 2026, what might be on the horizon so that maybe somebody could reach out to you and like Linda and
Oh,
maybe
absolutely, yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, and if you reach out and throw some potential dates at me, I'll see if there are other things within your circle of enjoyment available in like you can spend the 2 days with me, but you can also spend an extra day and go into town or go to some conference or do what, any number of things. Um, Dublin is a very. I'll say hello. I'll say hi
Oh,
now.
here we go.
No,
Yes.
she's gone shy. She's gone shy.
Oh, she is.
Um,
Oh,
be shouting at me now. So Dublin, we're English speaking. We're in Europe, so a lot of European stuff happens here that used to happen in the UK because we're no longer in Brexit. Um, and there's always something international going on.
awesome.
So, if you want to come and do several things. Bono lives in my neighborhood from U2. If you're into U2, you can go around and stalk him. He drinks in my local pub.
There you
Or if you're
go.
into Eddie Irvine from Formula One lives around the corner. There's lots of people that live around here.
Wow. Nice, nice.
Hey,
So, Louise,
Desi,
I still have you up. Go ahead, Sharon.
I was just going to say, I see a few people are downloading the brochure for Ian's trek to Ireland from the website. So if you want to put that link in there again, Desi, just so anybody else can have it close. But what I was going to say is that for 2026, if they throw us some dates, we can get those up on the travel form so they can just automatically sign up when they're ready.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. So I'm going to put your link in there again. I've been putting all the links in our chat. And so definitely want to save our chat today, that's for sure. But Louise, because I still have you spotlight on here, there's been maybe some talk of South Africa, not to like jump the gun here. Maybe you can't say anything, I don't know. But South Africa, I saw Women in Drones had the zebras running on on her page, and I went, "Oh, can we can we go to South Africa?" So in
Yeah, no, it
trek.
it has been an idea that's been spoken. We've chatted with Sharon. It just needs to give it a bit more thought because it's a bit more awkward here in terms of the drone flying the drones, depending on where we go, because you can't fly drones in our nature reserves and national parks, for example, and things like that. But there are some ways in which I'm sure we can find uh, opportunities where we can organize some flying here in South Africa, but there are plenty of places to come and see here. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful landscape, lovely people, as well, an amazing history in its own right. Um, and yeah, it's you've got deserts, you've got coastal areas, we've got mountains, we've got snow, we have a blazing heat in the Kalahari. I mean, there's all sorts of things as well. So it's just need to put my head around what would be the best options. But yes, it would be good to do and to
Awesome.
invite people to this beautiful country. Yeah.
Awesome. That would be exciting. So,
Mm.
love to hear if that kind of pans out in the future. And then in the chat again, if there's anywhere that you think would be a really cool place, we'd love to hear. What are your thoughts? Johannesburg.
Questions coming in here. So there's a question there. Local hotel costs about how much a night? So the hotel that Louise and Sharon and stuff stayed in the last time in the summer is about 200 a night. There's actually a castle 5 minute walk from my house, which is a hotel. You can stay in the castle. It's about during the summer about 200 a night. And that'd be for a double room. Now, look, I also want to say I'm not adverse to a group of people coming to me and making me an offer. Like we're trying to get this off the ground. Sharon's put a huge amount of work in. So, if there's a group of people that can club together and we can try and help with the pricing and stuff, like I want to get like I have American friends that come to stay, cousins and family that stay with me all the time when we go hiking. So I know what we're gonna do, but we haven't actually done one of these yet. So you can be our guinea pigs and we'll come to some kind of arrangement and help you along. Like we don't want to rob anybody. I'm sure Louise will do the same. But what do you think of that, Sharon? Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely. That's what we had talked about is that we want to learn through this process, but have a good time more than anything because people want to be on vacation and we want to make sure that the process works for everyone. We want to create a win-win.
Yeah. So like if six people came to me and said we want to go, we'll charge you for four. That type of thing. But we also have to cover my costs. Like I'm taking 2 days off work to go and do it. So like I still have to pay myself.
Right.
and everybody along the food chain as well. But Desi, what you're talking about doing a trek, Desi? Why don't you tell us about yours?
So, yes, I'm super excited because my husband and I have planned this for probably 10 to 15 years. And so we have an opportunity now that we bought some property in Arizona and we are opening up our property. It's just bare land and inviting people out for a trek from our base camp. And it's off-roading. If you boondock with your RV, you come to our property and we will take you out into the desert of Baus, Arizona. And people say, where is that? Well, it is in the middle of nowhere. Um, but I'm so excited because my husband is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to looking at the landscape and knowing the history of the mining era and such like that. So we're going to take you out one day and we're going to take you to Swansea, Ghost Town. Sounds scary, right? But it's super cool, amazing place to fly a drone. And then we come back to our base camp and we have opportunity for fun and games and campfire. And we're making a Western style dinner where we're going to have fun around the campfire and have Western style dinner. And then the next day, we're going to go back out right out of our property. And there's a whole mining era out there that allows us to go through the beautiful landscape that's there with the red hills and stuff like that and check out some of the abandoned mining operations. And again, come back and have a good time. Somebody I just saw said, I'm interested in Arizona and camping off-road. Josephine, let's connect. I'll put my link in there too. But I'm super excited and we have an opportunity to just get out and fly and experience the desert. And like I said, my husband, he's very into the desert mining and learning that aspect of it. He loves to share. I think the hard part's getting him to stop sharing. So, yay, awesome.
So
So,
Desi, I just put one of your treks up. I put up the Desert Escape trek, and then you want to talk about the other one real quick?
awesome. So I have another opportunity. You may be familiar with Skit or
Galata.
Eric Hanscom. He is got a location out in Anza Borrego, and so he has allowed us to do a trek in that area as well. And I don't know if you're familiar with the metal art that's out there, but the trek allows us to go out to the metal art in Anza Borrego, spend a day flying. We tour around the various locations, spend some time at his base camp as well, and just get out and have a good time. And sometimes the Anza Borrega desert is marvelous. It's so pretty. The weather's fabulous. The flowers, the desert blooms are amazing. So that's another one that's out there. And I think, Sharon, you have a link for that.
Yes, I put it in there. Yep, it's
Okay,
in there.
look at there. So check that one out. I don't know if you're familiar with the metal art, but that one takes you around to all the metal art. Also, really quick, like I saw that Isaiah is online and he's based in Las Vegas. He also invites people to share and come out and fly with him as well. And so a lot of great places. So if you have anywhere in mind that you would like to see a trek, obviously doesn't even matter if it's in United States, out and beyond, Ireland, all these wonderful places. We want to hear from you. Where would you love? What's been on your bucket list, right? Awesome. So got a lot of links in there. There, Sharon at Women in Drones. Reach out to her. And then
So Desi, let me just say that if anyone's interested in hosting an event and being a tour operator, one of the neat things about having it organized under Women in Drones is that we have a travel operators policy that we can add you for the liability insurance associated with your trek. as part of it, and it is worldwide coverage. So that was one of the reasons right away Ian goes, I'm in. You know, I don't have to buy another insurance policy. And as he's indicated, his drone insurance, when you come out and fly with him, will be covering you for the drone liability portion. But as a tour operator, you need a whole nother policy. And we have a comprehensive policies under Women in Drones that would cover our tour operators that have a contract with us. So Desi and Ian and others that want to sign up, just let me know. I put my email in there, drop me a link, drop me a message, and I'll connect with you, find out more about what you're interested in offering. And Desi has
You
been.
come up with a good track, we might trade with you. Come on one of ours and we'll go on one of yours.
Oh, there you go. Is that one of those show
Oh,
me? Yeah, okay.
I like
Sure, like I like
it.
holidays too.
I like it. So there's a lot of conversation in our chat, and I know we're running up towards the top of the hour there. As far as like Airbnbs in the neighborhood, bringing other people along. And so there's a lot of comments and questions in there about that. But I think you covered as far as, you know, bringing someone else along. Um, Airbnbs, is there not, you already replied, Ian, but just
I
in case
replied to a few. I've
someone
given some ideas. Yeah, so my particular neighborhood is a little bit fancy for that. There's not that many Airbnbs. Like an Airbnb here would be like 4 or 5 thousand a week. But in the adjoining villages and stuff, you get something really reasonable. And just where I live is particularly hilly, and people have been here for hundreds of years, and they pass the land down. Land doesn't come available, so they're all big houses. But within a 10-minute walk, there's loads of stuff available.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, the save the chat, definitely. Yeah. Um, so with that, we are up at the top of the hour. And so I want to thank you very much, Ian, for sharing with us. Louise, thank you. Sharon, thank you, because I know you weren't planning to be online, but we're glad you're here sharing with us. And definitely save the chat. So there's 3 dots, upper right-hand corner. A lot of great links in there. Check out the Women in Drones webpage. And the link is in our chat as well. And hope to see you in Ireland, right?
You're all
Awesome.
coming to Ireland. Yeah, look, Ian at dronespace.ie. Feel free. Look, even if you have a question or you're unsure, reach out to me and we'll have a chat, and maybe it might happen in 2 years' time.
There you go.
And
Yes.
that's my details there again at the bottom.
Okay, but wait, you just only put it to me.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Let
look,
me
I'm terrible at using these things. Hang on a minute.
Okay,
let me put it up there.
wanted to say one quick thing.
Oh, I love it.
In for Ireland, in for South Africa, in for Desi over in Arizona. Whatever it is, I'm totally in for it. So it means that I better get my Part 107 that I'm like still need to take the test. That's all I needed.
Well, come here, listen, come
No.
back here,
But
right?
Ian, here's my thing. Ian, I have some very big problems. I get my right and left messed up all the time.
But that's okay. I'll teach you. And then
Okay,
you go back
then
and
I'm
do your
in.
107. Come here, I'll get you registered here, and you'll get literally professional training, and then go back and do your Part 107, and we'll have knocked all your bad habits out.
Awesome.
Does that
I
cover
can't do any
everything
more for you.
or just the drones?
Or get the trust to be a recreational flyer, go out, have fun. You need the trust.
Right.
I can
Absolutely.
help you with that. We'll get you all set up.
Okay, because that right and left is really awful. So I tried it once and I'm like, whoa, what is happening here with this drone?
Just know that there's just 2 rights, the other
Yeah.
right and the right.
Yeah.
Practice,
Yeah, you know, I
Yeah.
will say real quick is it's really entertaining at the doctor's office when they say, you know, like wherever I'm going, it's like, okay, just go to the right, and I'm going left. They go to the left, I go right. And they're like, what's wrong with you? I go, I don't know. Spend my whole life this way. I never get it right. So yeah, so it should be interesting, but I'm in because I really want to do this. I think it'd be tons and tons of fun.
Awesome.
You know, this kind of tribe, so to speak, is such an amazing group of people. Amazing. And it's so much fun. You can't be unhappy ever.
Awesome. Yes, I agree. All right, everybody, we're at the top of the hour, about 6 minutes till. So save the chat, 3 dots, upper right-hand corner. First option is save the chat because of all the great links. And let the conversation continue. Feel free to reach out. We love hearing from you if you have comments or questions, all right? With that, have a great day, and I want to thank everyone for coming. Hi, Adrian, for giving us a thumbs up. I want to thank everyone for being here today, taking their time to share with us. All right, bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
Desi.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Desi.
Bye.
Amazing show, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.